The Wall Street Journal reporting the other day, the rise of the forever renters, Americans who would traditionally be homeowners, are instead renting. If you will own nothing and be happy about it, can be made successful in the realm of owning your own home, this is something we have to look at. Okay, this is how Americans who would traditionally be homeowners have become long-term renters, the Wall Street Journal reports, including some with no plans to ever buy a home. People with plans to never buy a home. Oh, hang with me, folks. These are not poor people. These are not just working class people. We're talking about folks with a middle class and upper middle class, even over $1 million a year income. This is being 4x'd by the most richest among us. Renters are changing saving patterns, sparking new developments, and inspiring businesses, from contractors that help out with renovations for renters to high-end fixtures that are easily removed from one dwelling to the next. Check out this breakdown. Sustained high interest rates in the U.S. have made mortgages unpalatable to many, though the Federal Reserve recently signaled an end to more rate hikes. There has been a dearth of inventory of homes for sale, and there are more rentals available with luxuries that make life seem easy. Aha! Lesson 1, make it easier to rent than to buy. Make it more convenient. Even make it more luxurious. Remember, folks, let me give you an example of how this has been successful. Automobile leasing. Remember, decades ago, people would either buy their cars cash or they'd put a down payment and then finance the purchase of a car. Then came 100% financing for new cars. And then came leasing, so that you could put a good chunk down, limit how many miles you drive, but now you could rent and have a luxurious vehicle, a new vehicle every 2 to 3 years. It's more fun, it's more convenient, it's more luxurious to be a perpetual renter or leaser of automobiles. So you can drive a 2022, 2023, 2024 BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Jaguar, Porsche, instead of buying a Toyota Avalon, an Acura. You get where I'm going. Now they're doing it with homes. There has been a dearth of inventory of homes for sale, and there are more rentals available with luxuries that make life seem easy. About 64% of people in the U.S. are homeowners, compared to about 89% of people in China and 72% in Brazil, according to analysis. Real estate investor GID, which owns and manages about 50,000 apartment units across 30 markets in the U.S., says nearly a quarter of its residents earn over $200,000 a year. Over $200,000 a year, and they are renters. Now, depending where you live in the United States or in the world listening to this, you're going to have a different idea of this. Now, $200,000 a year, I'm guessing, is a damn good income in Twin Falls, Idaho, in Iowa, and probably in many parts of Texas. But $200,000 a year doesn't take you as far in Miami, New York City, Los Angeles, Seattle, San Francisco. But we can all agree that $200,000 a year in most places in the United States does not put you in the poverty category. Not an income you would typically would have associated with a renter versus homeowner, but that is increasingly the case today, says Chief Executive Greg Bates. The influx of higher income renters has in part led to a decline in the number of lower priced rental properties available in the U.S. This is where it gets dangerous. High net worth or high income, maybe not net worth, but high income individuals are now renting, which is putting a strain on the supply for people that don't have as much money. That is definitely a problem now, and is going to increasingly be a problem. You're going to have yet a bigger divide between the haves and the have-nots, even within the rental space. The number of renter households with incomes of more than $1 million reached a record high of 4,453 last year. That is more than 4 times as many that were there in 2017, when 956 millionaires were renting their homes. Now, there will be a lot of millionaires that will rent their homes. There's ones that are having their homes built. They are influx, or they live in New York City, or they're just living the lifestyle. But since the first term of Trump to now, 4 times as many renters, I wonder what's changed. The number of renters earning over $200,000 a year is up 4-fold as well since 2010. The chief executive of a finance consultancy his name is Brian, pays about $3,200 a month, including parking and utilities, for a 1-bedroom apartment in Tampa's high-end Water Street complex. He appreciates that the building has a rooftop lap pool, dry cleaning pickup, and concierge service to help residents secure restaurant reservations and event tickets. And he loves being across the street from Amalie Arena, where he frequently sees concerts and goes to hockey games. See, it's the same mentality. Hey, I'm not buying my Toyota Avalon or my nice Lexus. I'm leasing forever, but I will always have one of the nicest, newer luxury cars. Same thing here. Because at $3,200 a month, sure, he could buy something that's bigger than a 1-bedroom in the Tampa area, but he wouldn't be on the Water Street complex. And I don't know this area, and I don't know the Tampa real estate. But it seems that $3,200 a month, he would at least be able to buy some sort of 2-bedroom condo somewhere in the area. But he's giving up home ownership for rental luxury. Some of his friends pay more than 5 figures a month for their apartments in the building, where rent started at about $2,800 a month. He's looked into buying, but never got very far in the process. This is a relatively low price to pay for the things I want. Luxury rental buildings are quickly filling up in cities across the country. The Heron building, where Alvarez lives, surpasses 95% occupancy only 7 months after opening. Wow. There is a demand for this. People are happy to own nothing. They are owning nothing and they're happy about it. Until, of course, they jack up the rents and they can't afford it. But that's a whole different seminar. For decades, renting was merely a stepping stone for the upper middle class before it was time to buy, and a home was considered a key asset that would appreciate over years to help its owners fund retirement. New subdivisions full of single-family homes for rent, all but non-existent a decade ago, are springing up from coast to coast. Let me repeat that to you again, folks. A decade ago, it was hardly existent. But now there are subdivisions that are being built like homes, like they're building these homes, but not to sell, for perpetual renters. More rentals are advertising themselves as kid and pet friendly, permitting renters to make extensive modifications to their spaces. And the article goes on to talk about other people who are totally fine with not buying. They're just saving more money. And there's even whole industries catering to them, like contractors that will make things that they can easily take to the next, things that would generally be permanent if you owned a home. But there's a whole industry now of people, contractors that will work to make things for your rental space to make it feel like it's yours, but is easily transferable if you move to another rental. There are currently 553 developments under construction that are of these types that are subdivisions for rentals. And their average occupancy rate in one of these developments is 97%, above the already high average of 95%. Wow, folks. You own nothing and be happy. You don't own your car, you lease it. You don't own where you live, you rent it. But don't worry, it's okay, because they've got pools and they got concierge services, and you're in the hottest part of the city. So this whole idea of you will own nothing and be happy isn't something in the future. Folks, it's already here. It has already begun.